Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Mitchell, and I am a 33-year veteran of the engineering and manufacturing industry. I was raised 3 blocks from Semiahmoo Bay. Anyone who knows White Rock at all knows the 1100 block is. And I had the pleasure of spending many, many years along that bay and enjoying, as many would know, the vibrant fishing industry that was a thing of the past. 11 years ago, I had the opportunity to move to a small rural acreage in South Langley here. And like many here, I live off a well, and I'm very proud of the fact that we are not doing anything knowingly to contaminate our soil. Some weeks ago, a group of us in the area got together after we heard of a very quietly advertised survey in the Langley area regarding transportation along 16th Avenue. It was a Translink-based survey. It was requested by the township to find out what, if anything, could be done to improve the transportation corridor known as 16th Avenue. I use that term in a disgraceful sense when you understand that a corridor, by definition, is a method of joining 2 large communities. 16 kilometers of that corridor reside in Langley, which has, at this point, little or no industrial development along that area, although I suspect if this proposal and others go through, that will change very rapidly. So this is 16th Avenue in 2 different views. One, some of you are familiar with, the tractor, not showing the lineup of cars and trucks behind it. And the second one, a far too often catastrophe that occurs along 16th with its many narrow sections and deep ditches. Hope this is going to work.
Up there.
I'm not advancing. Which way? Point that way. Not working. There we go. Okay, that one. Okay, thank you. So, many of you have heard the term throughout today and other days used, the thin edge of the wedge. Well, that's what I believe this truck facility is. This is the beginning of what I consider to be the industrialization of 16th Avenue. For those that may know a little bit about the history of 16th Avenue, obviously it's actually considered a heritage road here in Surrey. But as long ago as 1988, this road was designated a truck route. Now, why that designation was made and under what the conditions were, I can't say, but I can say that it was a travesty that it ever got that designation. Despite the fact now, for many of us, it's 100% funded its maintenance by Translink. We all know the state that Translink's in, so. Oops, sorry. 1995, the Township of Langley began a series of studies to determine what could be done to improve 16th Avenue safety. There have been a total of 22 studies and reports done since then, resulting in a $250,000 approval recently to conduct yet another study. That being said, we have been fortunate to obtain at least 2 major improvements. One is the traffic light at 216th and 16th, and one is the traffic light at 248th, the most recent one. And we have a few left turn lanes, which is, for those that know how left turn lanes are used, when you're a truck and you're parked or slowing down at an intersection waiting for oncoming traffic, the left turn lane becomes in fact a passing lane. And I've seen that happen on more than a few occasions, invariably when I'm hauling my horse trailer. Despite these improvements, unfortunately, accidents remain high and oftentimes fatal. Not the least of which is complicated by the fact that recently, a few months ago, a small vehicle turning left across 16th Avenue was hit from behind by another passenger vehicle, which was then hit by a gravel truck. The person in the pickup truck that was the first vehicle involved died. 2014 is a bit of a knowledge for information for those that don't know this. The Langley Chamber of Commerce urged the province to have 16th Avenue designated as a provincial highway, which leads to all kinds of interesting consequences. But to mention the most significant one, the BC Chamber of Commerce has now accepted that and in fact is actively lobbying the province to convert 16th Avenue to a provincial highway designation, and whatever that could mean. A couple of statistics for those that may be aware. In 2011, and these are old statistics obviously, the last one's published by ICBC, there were 12,000 vehicles a day traveling this route, of approximately 15% of which, or almost 2,000, were heavy trucks. For anyone that travels 16th Avenue, I think you think it's probably 1 in 2. Major accidents often occur along 16th Avenue, as we know. As I've mentioned, accidents are often made worse by the involvement of one or more heavy trucks. No other similar route statistically has anywhere near the number of fatal and serious accidents that we have on 16th for the amount of traffic that travels on it. And lastly, the proximity of heavy trucks to rural traffic, including livestock, makes it incredibly dangerous, not only for the people living there, but particularly for the truckers. Some of you may be familiar with this accident. It happened just across the street from the Irosha property, 194th and 16th Avenue. Now, interestingly enough, that accident was somewhat unique in the sense that one heavy truck drifted into the lane of an oncoming heavy truck. The two trucks collided, and just for fun, they picked up a minivan on the way. Fortunately, no one was killed in this accident, but there was an environmental accident, and it occurred, oddly enough, not when the trucks collided, but during the extraction of one of the trucks from the side of the road. In order to clear the road, because those that were commuting that day know 16th was closed for several hours, they had to drag the truck back onto the road, and in the process ruptured the fuel tank. That fuel tank then spilled into the creek and ultimately found its way down into the tributary. And the hits just keep on coming. Despite millions of dollars spent on safety improvements, accidents involving fatalities continue to occur. And to use a famous line from that movie, Field of Dreams, build it and they will come. One of the theories that's been put out there by certain individuals has been that by increasing 16th Avenue's capacity to a 4-lane highway, it will in fact improve safety. Well, I can assure you that the people that live and work along 16th Avenue don't need a 4-lane road. The truckers do, because they are being either forced or directed to travel that route in higher and higher numbers, and a 4-lane highway will now create not only a higher volume of traffic, but no doubt higher speeds as well. The reason I bring up this in context is because I want people to understand that certain things happen when you expand the capacity of a road, particularly in a formerly undeveloped area, not the least of which is the industrialization of this road. Once 16th Avenue is expanded to 4 lanes, once truck traffic can flow more, I won't say easily, but in higher volumes, there will be a natural desire to increase the amount of activity that happens commercially and industrially along that road. 16th Avenue is a jewel in this community. It has been left for many, many years as a primarily rural road. However, with the introduction of this truck park, it, for lack of a better word, validates 16th Avenue as a commercial route. So I see 2 futures for 16th Avenue. This one, the one I grew up with when I went to McLean Scout Park in 1970. This is what I found on 16th Avenue. This is what we're facing. For those that may be aware, 16th Avenue is one of the few overweight, overheight designated routes in the southern part of this province. And the reason is because it's one of the few routes that has no overpasses. And as a result, large vehicles, often dangerous loads, heavy loads, can travel down 16th with no obstruction. Well, despite the traffic you may see in that picture. I'm a member of CASA Langley. CASA stands for Community Around 16th Avenue. This is our website, and we support the efforts of the Friends of Hazelmere Campbell Valley, and we hope that you will encourage your neighbors and others to send the message to Surrey and to Langley and to Abbotsford against this proposal. Thank you.